today I want to walk you through how to use Notebook LM as a study tool. So this is great for students of any age. This is also great for adult learners who might be working on or creating resources for students. So first things first, I'm going to log into Notebook LM and I'm going to select Create New Notebook. Here you can see I've got several notebooks created and I can edit them. I can even go into them and share them with others. But for today, I want to get started on building my own. So with Notebook LM, I can pull in resources. So if you have digital versions of your textbook, you have study slides, different materials, even different assignments that you've done for a unit, and you want to create a study tool for a unit test, here's how you would do it. So I can go over here to Google Drive, and I can select multiple resources right here, which is what I'm going to do. And you can see that on the left-hand side here, I can turn on and off, so I can uncheck a resource, I can add in a resource, so I can really customize my study experience. I can also, and this is really exciting, add links. So I'm going to add a YouTube video that my teacher posted, and so here, Notebook LM is going to, in the center here, summarize that information. So I can see that I have 4 sources. I can even, like I said, turn off a source and then refresh that summary. But it's talking about the text and giving me an overview. It also gives me an option of how I can start typing or asking further questions. So I can use these as a base, or I can go over to the studio side on the right-hand side and I can create an audio overview, a video overview, a quiz, flashcards, and reports. So since we're studying today, let's get started with the quiz. Now, this process can take a few minutes to generate, so while that's generating, let's look at some other features. I can pin specific pieces of information here. I can ask for, give me the top 5 main points of these resources. So I can ask for a quick summary, so it's giving me even more information. As it's checking those uploads, you can see that it's thinking quite a bit. And so this chapter is about advocacy. It's about communication and creating meaning. It's about understanding context, culture, and establishing ethos. So it's giving me some good information. It's also referencing the different places in the chapter that it pulled that information from. So I know that it's citing its sources, so that increases the credibility of the actual resource. And this is an AI tool, and it's not going out to the web. It's actually looking at the resources that I've decided to put in. Now I have the option to pull in resources online, but I really can just pull in from the things that my teacher has provided me or that I have created myself. Okay, so now I've got a quiz over here, so now we can take a look at that even further. This is great, especially if I'm someone who struggles with taking tests or I want to practice, but I don't know how to practice. So according to the presentation on notes, I have a couple of answers. It even gives me a hint. So, okay, so according to that, what is the primary risk of writing down your entire speech? Well, it violates that 25 word count. Okay, that was something that I learned in my class. Like I would hear that information. It could be all of the above. So I might check. Let's see. Okay, this tells me why it's not quite the right answer, which is great too. So I can keep going through, and I love that it's giving me individualized and specific feedback so I can continue on to the next question. So if I've played around with that, and actually popping that open makes it so much easier to read, I also can create flashcards. So let's check these out. I'd also like to hear the audio overview. So if I know that I like to listen to things to learn them, that can be really helpful as well. And so again, all of these things take a little bit of time to generate, but there's so many different ways for me to ask for additional information. I can even reports. I really like too. It gives me a study guide. It gives me a blog post. It gives me a briefing. It's giving me all these different types of resources that I can generate. And again, knowing myself as a learner, this is going to be really helpful in that process. So keep playing around. All right, let's see. We've got our quiz. We've got our flashcards. I do want to check these out with you. So I can also pop this open, which is going to be easier to see. What's the definition of public speaking? It gives me that definition. Explain, I want to know more, and now in the chat it's giving me even more information. So you can see how it's already created 60 note cards, and so it becomes a really, really great tool. And again, I can keep looking for additional information. In terms of the audio overview, I'm actually going to go to a different notebook to show you this. So I had an independent reading assignment, and I created a student video or student resource, which became interactive. And so here it has 2 different voices, and I can listen to it.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are looking at something a little different. It's an academic document called Independent Book Project, Individual Writing Assignment 1.
Sounds true.
Okay, so you get the point there. That it creates a podcast that sounds like real people talking, which is so incredible, and it gives you that feedback. So definitely be checking out this resource. There's so many different ways that you can use it as a study tool, and it's definitely been one of the most exciting things I've seen in terms of personalizing my learning and my studying so that I can be a more successful student.